Hello everybody, how will be today? I'm very well, thank you. So we're back here in Farming Simulator. Just, for those that will notice, there's been a bit of work done that you just haven't seen. Unfortunately, I did do a recording, but it kind of screwed up. And of course I'd saved the game, so we've ended up having to skip all that. It basically recorded, they had no sound whatsoever. So, in that time we had harvested that field over there, started baling it, and done a couple of other wee jobs. Wasn't anything too major though. So without any further ado, we've got that field over there to start harvesting as well. So we'll shift the harvester over there and crack into her. So I've managed to get my steering wheel and my joystick working together on this. I have found a couple of issues doing it. Namely, I went to record this about an hour ago, but when I jumped into the game, all my settings, all my setup and everything had totally screwed up. So I've had to reprogram it all and do it all again. So hopefully it's not going to be an ongoing thing. I've also got to remember what everything is programmed in under. So that's not actually going to work because he's still got some stuff in there. We'll turn that off for now. We'll go grab our tractor. Here we go. So yes, been unfortunate the last video didn't work. We also brought field 19, which is currently fertilised in, well, sown in sunflowers, which of course we don't have a harvester that can do that, so we're going to have to lease one once they're ready to be harvested. But that's no major drama. We'll just sort that out. I'm pretty sure the harvester we've got can do it, we just need the right head. Which shouldn't be too bad to acquire. Going to avoid collecting gold nuggets this time around. So, anyone that's watching this, you might notice that the view was rather messy. And that's mainly because there was an update, and how do I get my pipe out? Why is the pipe not coming out? No. Try that. So yeah, it turns out it's decided to change everything I've programmed again, which is going to get rather annoying very quickly. So yeah, there has been an update, so for some reason they've gone and changed all the fields of view. Which is a bit of a pain. So everything kind of looks a bit fish-eyed really. We'll have to get rid of this before we can unload the harvester into it again. But they have fixed a few issues. Apparently they've managed to fix, like everyone's been having issues with the silage bunkers. Basically whenever you've used a leveler in your silage bunker, it's ended up pushing the silage all into the walls. And of course when it does that, you can't get it out. So everyone's having problems with that. And you know, that's a bit of a pain because doing the silage is quite a bit of work. So they've fixed that apparently. So I'm not too sure how well it's been fixed from what I've been reading. People are still having issues. So eventually we will get to it, but hopefully by the time we get to it, it is fully fixed properly. And like I said, the update, it's not going to be out on console for a couple of days yet, unfortunately, because it's got to go through a whole process of going through everyone, basically. Sony. Let's unhook. Let's turn on. There we go. Oh, what's lower? There we go. Alright, like I say, I've got to remember what everything's programmed to. So yes, it's all got to go through Sony and Microsoft first before they can release it on the consoles. So that does take a wee bit longer. But hopefully by the end of the week, everyone on console should have it. There's been a few other changes in the updates. It's helped iron out a few problems people are having. One thing being the what's on no bail? 83. Being with on the PC in particular, set up multiple controllers in it, like I've got set up now. There's always been a bit of an issue there, so they have made it easy. You can actually do it now in the menu screen. Apparently before people having to go through and change XML files and all that sort of jazz, which if you don't know what you're doing there can be a bit of a mystery, which is disappointing that it wasn't like that. When the game first came out, you know, you kind of would have thought being a simulator game they'd have that sort of thing sorted out before they released. But ah well. So yes, and yeah, the reason I'm having to keep checking on what everything's programmed to is if you see up there, it's all put down as numbers. Now of course I'm using a G29 and the buttons aren't actually numbered. They've got the PlayStation symbols. You've got your L2s and your L3s and your X's and triangles and squares and all that. And I've had to write down what each of the symbols actually are in the number form, so I know what each one is. It's a bit of a pain, but you'll get used to it eventually. If you're running the G920, the Xbox version, you'll probably find you won't have that issue. Mainly because the button configuration on that is the same as your Xbox controller. And previously I was using a Logitech controller, which has the same configuration. And it's just a wee bit cheaper than the Xbox one. But it actually shows up as the symbols in there. Main reason I went with the G29 is you actually get a lot more buttons with it. So you've got all the extra PlayStation buttons on there. And I'm sure once I get used to it and get everything ironed out and refine everything, Like so I found I can actually program the buttons on my joystick as well. So as long as it doesn't keep dropping it every time I go to load the game, it should work out real well. I notice a lot of the guys that they do a lot of the logging and use a bit of the cranes and that on the railway side. They like to try and run 2 joysticks. I've had a bit of trouble just getting one going, but yeah, they seem to like running 2 joysticks for it, which is fair enough, you know, it's a bit more realistic I suppose. I don't have 2 joysticks, so I'm just going for the one, but admittedly I probably won't be doing a huge amount of logging anyway. You know, we'll have a bit of a dabble in it. But at the end of the day, if I wanted to do a logging game, I'd probably buy a logging simulator. It's nice to see the bales just keep on rolling. Go chasing them all over the place. I must admit it's quite nice being able to play it with the steering wheel. One thing to make sure you do is turn your sensitivity right up to 100%. So otherwise, if you turn it down, you'll find that the gearing, because it's a force feedback wheel, and the game isn't actually set up for force feedback, you'll find it'll be real stiff to turn. I found. So yeah, you've got to set it up in your profile that it's up to 100%. So yes, I'm hoping by the end of this week everything's going to be settled down at work. We should be able to get a lot more coverage up, get a lot more done. The plan is to do a trucking sim, farming sim, and then another trucking sim after that. Try and at least get 3 videos a week up. It's more a case of I get them up when I can type deal. Unfortunately, I can't really schedule anything. But hopefully quality's improved for everyone. We'll see how we go. Hopefully everything works out fine with this video. I'll be sure to make sure it's actually recorded properly before I go saving the game this time. Learn from the first mistake. So it seems to be taking an awful long time for that harvester to fill up, so I think we'll get rid of this bale and check, see how he's getting on. Close that. Turn it off. It's not even halfway done yet. This rate he'll just be able to get the whole field. That's ideal. Well, let's turn on the tool again. There we go. Yes, so hopefully we'll be able to move forward. Get some content up. We're up to 15 subscribers now, which is pretty awesome. It's always good getting new subscribers. Shows that people are actually enjoying what they're seeing so far. Watching me derp around. Make plenty of stuff ups and hopefully improve on the way. One thing I've noticed, you know, with doing a let's play on the for the YouTube, it takes you a lot longer to get through the game than if you're just going through and playing it on your own, not doing any recordings or anything. You can get a lot further ahead, a lot quicker, so it really does extend the gameplay out, which is pretty awesome. because of the way I tend to do these, you know, I'll play this and I'll record it, and once I've finished I'll go and edit it and start it uploading. By that stage I'm usually going to work or going to bed. Who knows, I might actually be able to do 2 videos today, we'll see how we go. But once I get a routine sorted, hopefully things will come right. Quite keen to see how it's going to go with using the joystick and the wheel for loading these bales. Should be quite good fun. Now obviously I'm going to have to do a bit of mucking about, just refining some controls. I've still got all my walking around and that once I'm out of the cab is on the keyboard, so I might end up getting that changed over so it's on the wheel, just on the D-pad. I don't know yet, we'll see how we go. There's quite a few mods starting to pop out now for the PC. I normally prefer to wait a bit longer. You know, I just like to see that all the any issues, glitches, bugs, that sort of thing get ironed out first. Because it is still early days, you know, the game hasn't even been out for a month yet. So it's still extremely early days for the mods. So a lot of the ones coming out at the moment, they will have bugs in them. Wait for a future updated release when they iron them out. One thing I noticed, like, so there's a Facebook page I'm on, and one thing I keep noticing is people wanting the JD mods, in particular the folks on the consoles. You know, always asking for a JD mod. Unfortunately, you'll never see one, not on console. You will see them on the PC. In fact, there is already a few out, but you'll never see them on the console simply because for Giants to get the rights to put the JDs on, it's going to cost them a fortune, and of course us as consumers will have to pay for that. That and John Deere has their own game, I think it's called American Farmer or something like that. It's quite an old game, but of course they'd seen the people buy that game, their own game, to drive their tractors and machinery, then buy someone else's game to play with them. Which, all honestly, I don't see the logic on that, but one day John Deere might jump on board and realise that, well, it's quite a popular game and people want their gear on here, so they might jump on board and say, yep, okay, we'll let you have it. Likelihood is they won't. So until then, you know, if you want JD stuff, unfortunately you're going to have to get it on the PC. Yeah, and like, so once the mods really start improving, we'll probably start looking at some of them as well. I see there's a few new maps and that's starting to come out now as well. Some of them are looking real good. I usually quite like the English maps. They've just got a nice feel about them normally. There's a couple of map creators do some real nice ones. And they just got a bit more of a challenging aspect about them. Everything's all fenced off, got all the hedges and it's all tight areas and that. Not really built for the big gear. It's all, you know, it's one of the beauties of this game. It's all about how you want to play it, your particular style of gameplay. So if you're all about the big gear, then by all means go for a big open map. The American maps are usually the best ones for that. Go for those and get the big gear. If you want to work in a bit of a tighter area, just run a bit of smaller gear. Definitely the English style maps or the European style maps. Definitely the way to go for that. And everyone's got their own way of playing. A lot of people, they'll just go all out on silage, or all out on your forestry. One thing to remember, if you do go hard out on your forestry, don't drop too many trees in one hit, because it will affect your firing rate. Same with if you were to plant trees in these fields here. You'd have so many trees all nicely close together that it will affect your frame rate as well. So you know, you want to be a bit wary on things, especially if your PCs or your in particular the console as well. You know, just be a bit wary in what you're doing. Try not to build things up too much. Once this one here is done, we'll call that. So otherwise we're going to have partially full baler. Hopefully we get it full. There's every chance we won't. Now that's rather annoying. Just short. I don't think we've got enough little bits lying around either. No. So that's annoying. We've ended up with a partially full baler. Oh well, just have to remember that. So we haven't got much money, unfortunately. But who knows, one day we might improve. As I was saying in the video that didn't record any sound, has done a bit of digging into things. And there was a bit of stuff up. And it turns out the level of difficulty in this version of the game, so in FS 17 compared to previous versions, has jumped up significantly. So basically, easy mode in FS 15 doesn't exist in 17. Harvest is full. So yes, there is no FS 15 easy mode in this game. So your FS 15 normal mode is in fact the easy mode in 17. And your hard mode in FS 15 is your normal mode in 17, which, and of course the hard mode in 17 wasn't in 15, so it's more of an extreme mode in 15 if you like. So it kind of shows how much more difficult this version is. So what we'll do for this video is once he's finished harvesting this field, we'll call that the video. Get rid of this load. And then next time we'll be loading some bales out. We'll start someone ploughing this field. What I might do is actually run this load of soybeans up to the pigs, actually, pig area, and dump it in there. I think we need something like that up there. If we shoot over to our animals, yeah, so we still need the canola, sunflower, soybean, corn and straw up there. Obviously we can't do the sugar beets or potatoes because well, we don't have any. So yeah, we'll shoot up there with this, just chuck a bit in there. And that'll start us off a wee bit. And we'll end up taking those bales up there as well. But we'll take some of them up. Take a few bales up there. And the rest we'll just sell. For now is we don't really need a huge amount at this moment until we start getting the cows, but the cows unfortunately are going to be a long way off, so we'll have plenty of time to get plenty of straw by then. I'm hoping one day we'll get a new tractor and new harvester, probably once I get around to finding all the nuggets. We still have quite a few to go, so it could be a while yet. Here we are at the pigs. Haven't got any pigs yet, of course, but we'll have them soon. Cool. So we'll go for that. So they obviously don't take much. We're back down there, goat track. So yes, next episode, so I'll have everything set up. We'll start clearing those bales out, start ploughing that field. The harvest is just about done over there now. Yeah, what I might do is I'll actually end up calling the episode here. We've done a bit of baling. What I'm planning on doing is I'll chuck that field there in grass, in fact, because we need a bit of grass because I want to do the sheep as well. I was going to do this one here, but I actually discovered there's an Easter egg in this field and I don't want to spoil it for everyone, so well, actually no, there's a few that watch these videos that don't actually have the game, so yeah, I might actually do it. In fact I will. I'll chuck this field in grass. We'll have our other 3 fields full of crops. So yeah, that's what we'll end up doing. So yes, until then, the time we come back, we'll have this field harvested. And we'll start working on everything else. So until next time everyone, don't forget to subscribe, leave any comments below. Until then, take it easy, keep well, keep your crops slipped, and happy farming.